So good afternoon, everybody. How you doing? We stand at a moment in time right now. That moment in time is the fact that we have those who have went out as vigilantes to assassinate, to execute people who had absolutely nothing to do with the crime. And in actuality, will set us back as far as fighting the war. The police officers and their family in Dallas, Texas, my sympathies and prayers goes out to you. And I'm sure that you are receiving the sympathies and prayers of many. And for the young man or woman or whomever is the cause of this despicable act of violence on the police force in Dallas, my prayers also go out to you, that in some form, some fashion, that word gets to you that what you have done is incorrect, is wrong. And it goes against the actual fighting of the war and the winning of the war. See, we're at a precipice again, people. Throughout history, it has been known and it has been said that any time that you have a battle for a balance of power, both sides are generally praying to the same gods. Both sides are generally giving out the same energy towards a spiritual awakening, spiritual help, spiritual assistance. In one of my most favorite books, this was exemplified when there were warring Muslim tribes fighting one another. And they said, because this is of a war of balance of power, that Allah is on both sides. So the war is liable to drag on. That is what's going on in this country. That is what has been going on in this country since the first time that Christopher Columbus stepped foot on the soil in this hemisphere and took the first indigenous people back to Europe as slaves. We have been in a power struggle. We have been in a power struggle. The transatlantic slave trade was a power struggle. Unfortunately, this struggle has been drawn by the lines of race, of black and white. And then other races have been caught up in the middle. But it is still a basic power struggle. It is a balance of power which is being sought. And we are losing this battle because of our inactivity. We are losing this war, I should say, because of our inactivity, because we are not taking the right activities. Shooting and gunning down people is not the proper method of winning a battle, nor winning this war. The way that we win this war is economic. The slaves were freed based on economics. Segregation was ended based on economics. Jim Crow laws, economics. Everything that has relieved oppression from one group to the next level has all come down to economics. And once again, we are in a situation where economics will be the key. Economics is the key. You see, when Martin shut down the bus system in Montgomery, the economics is what made the difference. It was not the march. It was not the prayers. It was not the sit-ins, but it was the economics. Because when you take a person's job, when you take a person's livelihood, when you take their ability for them to feed their families or to buy clothing, then you take that, then that person starts to listen. Now, right now, we may not be able to affect, but our own personal influence, governmental change and mental change, how black people are treated, because when you have no economic power, then you have no respect. As I said before, you come with an empty hand. And when your hand is empty, you are not respected. So how do we get that respect? Well, the first thing that we can do is that we do have the power of consumerism. You see, Coca-Cola has influence, but we are consumers of Coca-Cola. Hennessy has influence. We are consumers. Matter of fact, we are more than 50% consumers of all Hennessy products. We can affect the influence of Hennessy if we affect the economics of Hennessy. Now, in my research of Hennessy, and I could be wrong, and if I am, please correct me, but I could not find one African-American distributor, one African-American that has something to do with bottling, labeling, or manufacturing, or shipping of Hennessy. So if we affected Hennessy by not purchasing from them, then it would only affect the French company, that is in ownership of Hennessy. Now, I respect Hennessy for being part of the growth and development of Tuskegee. I respect them for being a part of the National Urban League way back in the 1900s. But when I look at the company today, I do not see them in the black community other than having rappers and musicians and artists represent their product. I do not see them in any other format other than them advertising in black media in order for them to continue to make you their consumer. So the impact on the black community as far as the economic fall of Hennessy is very minimal. In battle, as a Marine, you are taught that oftentimes before you initiate a battle, before you begin the war, fire a warning shot. What I'm proposing is that we fire a warning shot. We fire a warning shot by boycotting Hennessy. There are plenty of other whiskeys that you can drink, and it will be twofold. By boycotting Hennessy and moving our funds to another whiskey, because I'm not saying that you cannot have your whiskey, but by moving our funds to another whiskey, it will show the power of consumerism by being able to shut down one and increase the growth of another, thereby looking to gain influence over two separate companies. You see, we don't think about those types of power. See, back in the day, we just boycotted, shut down. But let's boycott, increase, and then have two influencers. You see, when these companies recognize that their bottom line is looking a little shallow, it's not looking the same way it looked last year, that their bonuses are not going to be the same way, that maintaining their chateaus is not going to be the exact same as it was before, when they recognize this long-term issue could be the downfall of their company, they begin to make changes, because at the end of the day, if one white man is sitting at the table with another white man, but this white man is not able to take care of his family, not able to live his life, not able to continue to make the same money that he was making before, then he does not necessarily care that the other guy's white. What he cares about is his finances. And I'm not saying that all white people are bad, or I'm not saying that at all, but what I am saying that the powers that be care about economics, and when you affect the economics, you affect them. It doesn't matter. They don't have to like us. They don't have to like us. You don't have to like me, but you will respect me, and they must respect us. That is my motto. That is my way of living. That you may not like me, but you must respect me, so that you do not disrespect me. It is not about ego. It's about not being disrespected and treated unkindly. And that is where we start. Boycott Hennessy. Have a great day.